Hey guys, this is Malcolm Cosplay, and today we're going to be discussing the Dabi is a Todoroki theory. Please note that this video is not going to be in character because that's going to be a little bit difficult. There are going to be manga spoilers because that is where the majority of the theory actually lies, so sorry for that guys. If you don't want to be spoiled, then please don't watch the video. Please note that I am filming this video as of chapter 239 in the manga, so if there is any revelations after that, then obviously it's not going to be included in this video. Okay, so what do we know about the Todoroki family? So we have Enji Todoroki, who is Endeavor, a flaming piece of trash, and Enji had 4 children: Toya, Fuyumi, Natsuo, and Shoto. So Toya Todoroki is canonically the eldest Todoroki child, but we haven't seen him in the manga or the anime. Well, we have seen him in like a little flashback thing where it's like the back of his head. In the manga, his hair is assumed to be white, and in the anime, it was made red. Another thing that we know about the Todoroki family is that Enji married Rei in a quirk marriage, which is basically an arranged marriage and is totally ethically wrong. And he did this to play with eugenics to create the perfect child, so one with half ice and half fire, which was Shoto Todoroki. But he failed 3 times, which was Toya, Natsuo, and Fuyumi. So the details we know about the kids, we know about Fuyumi, we know about Natsuo, and we know about Shoto, but the only things that we know about Toya is quite limited. So we know that in the manga his hair was white, in the anime his hair is red, so from that we can try and assume what his quirk will be, but I don't really want to go based on hair color. But if it was based on hair color, then the red would hint towards fire, so it would lead towards Dabi. Or if it was white, then it can lead towards Dabi in a different way. So we know from chapter 202 in the manga that Toya inherited firepower that was stronger than Enji's, but his body wasn't able to take the quirk, and so something regrettable happened to him. So he was born with his mother's constitution or his mother's weakness to fire. What do we know about Dabi? We know that his flames are blue and his quirk is called cremation. Blue flames are the hardest type of flames, and cremation is cremation. It's burning. Did you just snort at me? So this ties into Endeavor saying Toya's firepower was greater than Enji's. As well, we have also seen Enji able to produce blue flames, but he doesn't do it because it is to his own detriment. It damages his body as well. So around the chapter 232 and around there, so the League of Villains, Villain Academia arc, we can see that Dabi has a lack of tolerance to his own quirk. We can see with his scars that he steams, smokes through the scars because we assume from like using his quirk that it's too hot for his body to handle, and so we can assume that his scars are something that his own quirk has done to him. So that would lead into the whole how he's inherited his mother's intolerance of fire and heat and hot things. So what is the base of the theory? So when Enji said that Toya's case was regrettable, we assume that something happened to Toya. So either he ran away, or he went missing, or he is legally dead, deceased, that something happened with Enji, we don't know. But something happened that caused him to not be present in the rest of the Todoroki's lives. So we can assume that either he went missing, or went to hospital, or died, or Toya could have run away, went missing, been kidnapped for all we know, and went into the League of Villains under the alias of Dabi. And he has canonically said, "No, I won't tell you my name because you don't need to know yet." Another possible reason for Dabi possibly leaving the house as Toya is that his mom couldn't stand to look at him because he reminded her too much of Enji. It's something similar that happened with Shoto. So he was full of guilt, I don't know, hatred, who knows, and he left the house because of that too. Up until chapter what's it in the Villain Academia arc, we had various theories about Dabi's scars, as we said that they could have been I don't know, stapled on from someone else's flesh, that he burned himself purposefully, that Endeavor burned him. But now we can probably safely assume that it's purely from use of his own quirk. Some supporting evidence for why he would have run away. He was the first Todoroki child to be born, so he probably would have been trained really, really hard by Endeavor. And we've seen through Enji's treatment of Shortle that his training isn't anything short of abuse. This abuse is confirmed by Natsuo, because Natsuo was busy screaming at Enji and saying that they would never forgive him for what he's done, especially to big brother Toya. Under Enji's tutelage, then he probably would have pushed himself quite far, and then maybe might have actually wounded himself through the use of his quirk, and then been discarded as imperfect by Enji, because he's a piece of trash. He could have then continued living his life in the Todoroki household, or have gone missing from a very young age, or he could have possibly gotten jealous of Shortle's treatment from his father, which is unlikely, but it's also a theory that's been going around. So aside from taking some subtext and some familial history and then seeing that they correlate quite well together, so we can also see some other evidence from the manga and the anime that can lean towards this theory. One popular supporting factor of the theory is their eye shape and eye color. So this is also because when I did my makeup for Dabi, I did the same shape that I usually do for Shortle. The eye shapes are quite similar between Enji, Shortle, and Dabi. I nearly said Toya. And all three of them have the same turquoise blue color on Enji's side. Another supporting piece of evidence is Dabi's face shape. There has been a couple of edits of Dabi without his scars, and we see that his face shape is quite similar to Shortle's, but this I feel isn't as much of a convincing part of it, because there's only so many face shapes you can get in an anime. Something that was quite curious that was in the manga and the anime is when the League of Villains kidnapped Bakugo and Dabi had compressed his little marble of Bakugo, his line of "too bad Todoroki Shortle." It was quite curious, because why would you say someone's whole name, and also how he would know Shortle's name in the first place, but this interaction just struck as a little bit suspicious to the fandom. Another piece of evidence that is also shown in the anime is that Dabi joined the League of Villains after Stain was defeated, put in jail, after the whole incident with Stain. And Stain's whole ideology was destroying fake heroes, and we can see that Dabi kind of continues with this theme, but he's also going the more villainous way about it instead of the harsh vigilantism of Stain in a way. So we can see that Stain obviously hates Endeavor and everything that Endeavor stands for, because he calls him a fake hero that just saves people for the glory of it, and he only supports All Might, which is the opposite of Endeavor. So Dabi joined the League of Villains after the Stain incident. He didn't show as much enthusiasm for following Stain's ideology as much as Spinner did, or as much admiration for Stain as Torga did, but he did hint towards making a society that had better heroes. This theme continues more in the manga when Endeavor and Dabi are actually facing off, when Dabi shows his obvious antagonism towards Endeavor, and he addresses him as Todoroki Enji, similar to how he addressed Shortle as Todoroki Shortle, which is very odd, because if you're a villain facing a hero, then wouldn't you just be like Endeavor instead of Todoroki Enji? Why would you know his name? Suspicion, whatever. We can see Dabi in these chapters go a little bit more beyond what his personality usually can appear. We see him go almost crazy while talking to Endeavor, as he was ripping out the staples in his skin from just opening his mouth too wide. I don't know. But we can see that there's obviously something there. This would really support the Dabi's a Todoroki theory, because we can safely assume that if he had such a hatred for Enji, then obviously he would have left, or the hatred is because he left, or some reason of that. So this is pretty much the base evidence that we have at the moment that is supporting the Dabi is a Todoroki theory. One question that a lot of people come up in contradiction to the theory is why Shoto or Endeavor didn't recognize Dabi when they were faced with him. And we can explain this with when he went missing or was presumed dead or whatever happened to him, he was very, very young. So they wouldn't know what he looks like as an adult. Dabi also has facial and body scars compared to Toya. He also has body modifications in the form of piercings, which we don't know if he had when he was a kid or whatever. We can also assume that he can dye his hair because we have confirmed that there is hair dye in the world of Boku no Hero Academia. Shota would definitely not have recognized Dabi because Dabi is easily 6 to 8 years older than him, so Shota would have been a child when he last saw him, if he even did see him, so it is very unlikely that he would have recognized him. Enji could have not recognized him, 1, because of his change in appearance, 2, of the change in his disposition. He probably knew an obedient child or something other than that, but he didn't know a villain so he wouldn't have been able to connect the two. Also, if it's been so long since he's last seen him, he wouldn't have known the difference between their voices, for example. Also, Enji probably didn't even care enough about Toya to remember him because it was a failed experiment, and we've already concluded that Enji is a trash human being that didn't care about his other children. So, another supporting theory for why they weren't recognizing Dabi as Toya is that if Toya Todoroki was certified as dead, possibly, then they wouldn't know to look for him because why would you look for someone who's already dead? Another supporting piece of evidence that we can have for the Todoroki Dabi theory, it's not really evidence, but it's something that we can kind of just pick from because we can see the Hawks and Endeavor relationship as a parallel towards the, for instance, Enji and Toya relationship. Also, we have Hawks and Dabi being all secret coalition going on. So then from those linking pieces, we can see that maybe there is a big reveal being set up. So what is the actual point of this video? Not much, because everyone just thinks that Dabi's a Todoroki anyway. But I thought that I would condense all the knowledge and theories that I have or have seen into one video to see if it would make it easier for people to understand. Obviously, when the truth comes out, whether he is or is not a Todoroki, I'm going to be either proven wrong or right. I actually don't care. Feel free to disagree with me or agree with me in the comments. It's not going to make a difference. So thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you understood my rambling, because what goes on in here is it doesn't come out well through the words. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check me out on Amino, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitch, on every other site that I have linked in the description below. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Welcome to This is Dabi trying to do something with Alex being a fuckhead in the background. Oh my god, they can see. This is gonna be a long day. So it's Toya Todoroki, Ray's his wife.
Okay, look it up. I'm in kicking distance.
And he had 4 kids. So there's Toya Todoroki, Fuyumi Todoroki, Natsuro I don't know where I am. Where am I going? I'm literally filming myself looking at the manga. Like slow enough so I can't dive further away from the desk than I thought. Hello. Heat and hot things. So Dabi joined the League of Villains. Oh, I just hit a staple out of my hands forcefully. Dabi is easily... How many years old? Fuck.